Good morning. It's Monday, August 12th. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Nicholas Cox, the History Department Chair, and my co-host today is Benjamin Escobar, HCCTV Production Specialist. Benjamin, welcome. How does it feel to be on this side of the camera?
It feels great. It's always good to be on the show, so it's always a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad you're here today. Would you share with our audience where they can find us?
Yeah, of course. You can find us live on Houston Community College District's Facebook page, not HCC, but Houston Community College District. You can also find us on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and on HCC TV, our own TV channel, where you can catch rebroadcasts of this show at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Benjamin. Okay, so today for Music Monday, we are spotlighting a Houston group that helps youth find their passion for performance. Our guest in our second segment will be Grace Dada, also known as Lady Grace. She is the founder and artistic director of Serenity Performing Arts Academy. Uh, Lady Grace, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, it's great to have you here today on Music Monday. We're going to come right back to you after our first segment, so stand by.
Thank you.
All right, our first guest is a HCC media specialist, and we want to welcome him from the print side. This is Fredrick Batiste, HCC Communications, speech, American Sign Language instructor, and the advisor to our student newspaper, the Egalitarian. Welcome to the show, Fred.
Well, thanks, Nick. It has been a long time since I've seen you, so let's chat.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when I saw your name, I was like, I remember when he and I were program coordinators for history and communications way back before COVID. I mean, it's probably been that long, right? Well, it's good to see you again, and I'm glad to hear that you are the faculty advisor to the Egalitarian. Would you remind our audience what is the Egalitarian?
Yes, Nick and Benjamin. The Egalitarian is the college's official student media outlet. It's open to all fields of study, whether you're on the workforce side or not. And what we want to do is pair students in skill sets that they could use once they leave the college. We're digital based. We have our site and our social media, and we're working hard to transition to a fully digital world to meet our students halfway.
You know, some of our students and maybe even some of our faculty might not remember that we used to have a print student newspaper, and that the Egalitarian website is sort of the online version of the newspaper, and maybe even a much more broad media site for student work. Um, what kind of changes have been made over on the Egalitarian site since it moved fully online?
Yes, and the move to and let's go back. The pandemic caused a lot of college media to either go fully digital or have talks to go fully digital and or reduce circulation. We were just like any other college outlet in the country. But that allowed us to have sort of like a wallsless newsroom, basically go anywhere that we need to be. And using TikToks, well, we can't use TikToks because of the good laws. Instagram Reels, and other ways to communicate to our students and the community at large. You'll see a lot of the tools that we use for the egalitarian or what students are using in their classes in their free time. And so we want to bring students in and say, hey, you do this on your free time. Why don't you use this to cover the things that matter to you at the college?
No, that's wonderful. You know, I had a student interview me to just check in with me on the chair of the government department about the upcoming presidential debates about a month ago. And it was a great little interview, and it turned out to be a nice little piece of writing. And when I went to the Egalitarian site to check out the final version of the report, I saw some great local music reporting as well. And so, you know, there's a lot of great stuff on the Egalitarian.
Yes, thank you. And that's one thing that I try to focus. A lot of times in college media, students want to do everything, but as my old advisor would tell me, no one should cover your college better than you. And I feel that with everything that goes on with the college and in the city, we should be right there on the ground from everything from what goes on with the Board of Trustees to our burgeoning and super diverse music scene.
So if a student wants to be involved, do they need to be a communication student or even take a class? How can students get involved?
You don't have to be a comms student be in a particular class. However, we do offer a section of COM 2324, Practicum in Electronic Media, for students that want to take the course, participate in Egalitarian, and receive academic credit. But we're open to all fields of study. All we ask is just a willingness to learn, make your mistakes in like the 10th paragraph, and have some fun in the process. And it's a great learning experience that goes well towards those marketable skills that the college is pushing our students toward.
Now, I could imagine that students would get a lot out of working on the egalitarian, but what are you looking to get out of the students? I assume they need to meet deadlines and have some facility with writing, but what are you looking for in a student contributor?
Well, writing, well, the key thing is writing, and a lot of people get it mixed up when you're talking about traditional text in this digital world. Still, the same rules apply, but with the tools that we have available, tech-wise, it's easier now to communicate your stories from a text standpoint and a visual, and an audio standpoint, using audio slides and using free software that's available, like Audacity, if you can't get a hold of Audition, Adobe Audition. What we want to do is cross-train our students so that they can learn skills that they can take if they want to pursue media stuff as a professional, they can. But let's say if you're opening a business and you're trying to create a marketing plan on how to talk to different entities to get your ideas across, well, you can learn those skills here. We try to be as adaptable to our students as possible. All we need is a willingness to work.
No, that's wonderful. It's great to hear how much has moved into the digital creation space. I mean, when I was in junior high, Frederick, I took a typewriter journalism course in which we learned how to type on typewriters, and then we also made the school newspaper and the school yearbook, and we laid out those giant sheets, and we used X-Acto knives, and we laid everything out on physical media. It's a completely different world now.
Yeah, and I tell my students when I was in college, we had the X-Acto knives and everything else, and by the time I finished undergrad, we were completely digital. Matter of fact, I hopped on Twitter in 2009, and yes, that seems so long ago, but just think of the advances in communications tech that have taken place from 2009 till now. And our students have grown up in that environment. And we should, as instructors, not shun the technology, but try to find ways to use the technology to help our students get better.
So if a student was to work on the egalitarian, is it connected in any way to other college newspapers? Is there a consortium or a group? Do we have students perhaps who've worked on the egalitarian that have moved into a traditional non-collegiate print journalism or TV journalism? Has it been a stepping stone for that, for networking
Yes,
or
it has
career?
been a stepping stone. It has been a stepping stone to go work college media at 4 years, or even work with nonprofits. We've had editors in the past go work in the nonprofit space, move on to UH, and there's another that moved on and is working in one of the local stations as a multimedia journalist. So you see that what we're doing has worked, and even if they weren't, we've had some that moved on to the filmmaking side, others that are going into the sciences, and they're still taking those skills with them. And that's the biggest takeaway that I have. As long as they take the skills and utilize them, I don't feel that well, scratch that. I feel that that's all we should do, is just give them the opportunity to use those skills and progress in their careers.
Oh, that's great. And would you, in our last minute or so here, would you tell us a little bit more about the College Media Association? I'm not sure if we spent enough time talking about
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, my term as vice president of member training ended in October, where I was the point person for professional development for the organization, and I've learned so much from our constituents. And one thing that I've learned, and just to go back to our previous question, yes, through our memberships with College Media Association and the Texas Intercollegiate Press Association, we have that network of other advisors at other campuses, other students from 4 years, 2 years, public and private, where our students can bounce ideas off of each other, and advisors can bounce off and talk shop about what are you using? How does it work with your students? And all that is to say that we use these resources and these connections to bring pertinent content to our students so they can progress.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Fredrick Batiste, HCC Communications Instructor, Egalitarian Advisor, and the Vice President of Member Training for the College Media Association. We'll have more information about all of your career after the show. But now, up next, after a commercial break, Benji will talk to a local nonprofit that helps Houston area youth in the performing arts.
When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
Welcome back to Up to the Minute. Moving on to Grace Dada, who goes by Lady Grace, founder and artistic director of Serenity Performing Arts Academy, a local organization that helps Houston area youth find their passion for performing. Welcome to the show, Grace.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. Let's begin with a description of what Serenity Performing Arts Academy is and how did the program start?
So Serenity Performing Arts Academy, we are a 501c3 organization, and our mission is to provide equal access and exposure to the performing arts for children and families that live in Northeast Houston. So since I was younger, I always had a passion for music, singing. I started off in the church, and my pastor saw something in me. So he allowed me at the age of 8 to start singing in front of the church, and at 13 to start directing the choir. So I've always participated in band throughout grade school, and I knew that there was something bigger than me than this music thing.
Mhm.
So I wanted to be able to give back to my community and just the youth and let them know that they have an avenue in our community to express their creativity in performing arts.
So directing the choir at age 13, did I hear that right?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
It was a
So,
challenge. It was
yeah.
a challenge. I had to make sure that the older people listened to me. So I
Right.
actually had a matron that had to let them know, hey, I know she's a kid, but you got to make sure you're listening.
Yeah, yeah. I know, and I know you just told me the area that you service, and I did want to
Yes.
ask you why that community in particular.
It's where I grew up. It's my community. Just a quick story. In middle school, my brother started playing trumpet first, and he came home one summer, and I picked it up. So when we got to school that next academic year, my teacher, he saw that I already knew how to play.
Wow.
And then the following summer, get this, he allowed us to take one of the instruments home to practice. No one ever did that. So then my brother and I, my family, we kind of knew, okay, we have something going here, and others saw that in us. So I always remember that story of somebody in my community giving me access. And that was always at the forefront of my mind growing up, wanting to be involved with youth and performing arts and singing. So that is why that community, because I want to give back to the community that poured into me.
Of course, yes. And let me ask you this also, kind of like delving into that music and how young you were when you started picking up all these instruments and singing. So is there music in your family where like your maybe the parents or grandparents that they play any instruments or sing or anything like that?
Absolutely. So I was actually born in Nigeria. And I came here to America when I was 3, but I found out, and I only say that to say we're the only ones here in America, but I found out that back home, there's a pedigree of musicians.
Wow.
And with the internet and Facebook, I'm able to actually watch some of my uncles and aunts sing, and I'm like, okay, that's where we get that from. My mom can't sing a lick, oh goodness. But my dad, who has passed away, he was a choir master at his church. So that's kind of where it comes from. It's a long family history of music and singing.
Wow, I love to hear that. That it's kind of like a family thing. That it's crazy how that it's kind of like a gene that passes on too, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And now my daughter, who's 18 months, she loves to sing, and
Wow.
she enjoys it. Yeah.
Uh, and so tell us more about the program activities that SPAA does offer.
So in the month of July, we offer a 4-week summer camp, very affordable to the kids in our community. We do dance, theater, music, band. We also touch academics, and the goal is to prevent summer learning loss for those kids. And we give them a safe space to come and spark their creativity. We do put on a big production. We recently just finished, we did Aladdin. We called it A Young Lad. And it was just awesome. It was awesome. The kids come. We did get interrupted this summer because of the hurricane. But when I say they came back full force, ready to go, and we put on a big production for their parents in the community. So it's a great program. I will say this: it started off with about 5 kids. It was a thesis for my graduate project, and now last year we had 75 kids registered, and this year we got up to about 76, 77.
Wow, that is great.
Yeah.
And you're making an impact on the community and those kids' lives, and I know that for sure.
Yeah.
You need a
Yes.
lot of stuff in the community to happen. So what's your vision with the future of this program?
So my goal is to impact more kids through the performing arts. That is my life mission, is to impact kids through the performing arts. And of course, the way that I get to do that is through my nonprofit. And I talked about the summer camp, but we do have another program activity, which we found was very necessary. After summer camp, the kids' parents want them to stay involved. They want them to continue what they're doing. So we do a monthly performing opportunity where either the kids can perform somewhere or go see a performance. So that's what keeps the kids engaged throughout the year, even through the academic year. And so my goal is to be able to reach hundreds of kids through what we do, and show them that they can do what other kids can do. They're contemporaries. They can do it. And again, we're giving them that exposure. We're letting them know they can be on the big stage. We have maybe 2 kids who actually come from our program and performed at the Hobby Center. So our goal is to continue to help them sharpen that you're able to do anything you put your mind to.
Yes, yes. I also did want to ask, so maybe for somebody who's watching the show right now and has an interest in putting one of their kids through the program, is there like a sort of audition that happens, or can they be like a beginner at something and you able to help them develop that?
Yes, so we definitely tackle beginners, but we also have a lot of kids that are already participating in the performing arts during the academic year. But the only audition is during summer camp when you want those lead roles. Like we had to audition for Aladdin because everybody wants to be Aladdin, or everybody wants to be the genie. So that is the only audition that we do require, but all kids are welcome. Our goal for next year is 100 kids. So we're already starting now, pushing for that, marketing for that. So all kids are definitely welcome. The age for summer camp is ages 8 to 15. And we have opportunity for kids who are a lot of camp helpers. They don't go away. They don't go away. So we're excited about that. And that's the only audition required.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then lastly, I did want to I want you to tell us all about your information, basically like where we can find you on social media, web pages, anything like that. That way before we wrap up for this segment.
Absolutely. So our website is serenityarts.org. Again, serenityarts.org. You can find us on Instagram at SPAAHTX. Again, that's SPAAHTX. Facebook, Same thing. Just look up our name, Serenity Performing Arts Academy. Even on YouTube, you'll see quite a bit of videos on things that we've done. So, yeah. And I can give the number to our organization. It's 832-207-3556, 832-207-3556.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Grace. Dada, you're doing God's work out there. So this is the founder and artistic director of Serenity Performing Arts Academy, and we'll have your info on our post after the show. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. Thank you.
Yes. And then coming up next, after a quick commercial break, Nick and I will return with some news announcements. So stay tuned.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school so I can be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
All right, well, we are back with some news, events, and announcements. And up first, the Eastside campus is holding an enrollment fair on Saturday, August 17th. There will be a $500 scholarship raffle. HCC understands that not everyone is available during the week to take time to enroll, so the Eastside campus is holding an enrollment fair to make it convenient for students to register and talk with their advisors. You can also register to win that $500 scholarship, and there will be other giveaways as well. That is at the Eastside campus at the Learning Hub on Saturday, August 17th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, check our post after the show.
Next up, we have WOW, which stands for Weeks of Welcome. HCC Southeast wants to give incoming fall students a fun and enthusiastic welcome. This resource fair called Weeks of Welcome is hosted by Student Life and Recreational Sports and offers yard games, music, nachos, who doesn't love nachos, and some swag. This will take place Monday, August 19th through Thursday, August 29th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Eastside Student Life Center patio. Check out our post after the show for more info.
All right, thank you. There is also a STEM Carnival at the HCC South Campus. The 2023 winner of HCC's business plan competition, whose company Mommy and Me won the grand prize, will host a free STEM Carnival this fall at HCC. The event will feature drones, robots, and rocket launches. This will be Saturday, September 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our HCC South Campus. Check our post after the show for more information.
Next up, we have Automotive Career Fairs Connect with Employers. HCC's upcoming Fall Automotive Technicians and Mechanics Career Fair is an opportunity to connect employers who have jobs, co-ops, and internships with HCC students. Specialties include transportation technicians, auto body, collision repair, and transportation mechanics. This will take place Wednesday, September 18th at the Northeast Campus from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. So check out our post after the show for more info on that.
All right, and also Coleman College. We have classes at Coleman offered now at both the Coleman campus in the Med Center and HCC District in Midtown. So this fall, HCC students interested in health science careers can now take some courses at both the HCC Coleman Satellite Office and in the HCC Administration Building at 3100 Main. English, medical terminology, and other prerequisite classes will be offered during evenings, weekends, and students will be able to take these classes when they work more traditional business hours. For more information about registration, check our post after the show.
And fall registration is now open, but classes are filling up fast. So what are you doing? Sign up now. Registration for the fall semester is going now, with regular and smaller semesters offered in a variety of programs. Like all of HCC's courses for all summer and fall, they are offered online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, in-person, hybrid lab. To learn more about these HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, please visit hccs.edu/apply. Again, that is hccs.edu/apply. So you still have time, folks. So sign up for classes.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Benjamin, because fall starts Monday. Monday, everybody, Monday. So, all right. Coming up tomorrow, we'll talk to the folks that are hosting an upcoming career fair. Also, since it's Tasty Tuesday, you're going to have to tune in to find out the treat we have in store for you. And we'll give you a little tease about our Small Business Wednesday segment guest tomorrow on the next show. See you guys then.